Hi, I'm Kristina from Brooklyn Dreams and welcome to a new video. Today, I'm gonna give you a quite belated Space Opera September wrap up. I finished it one day late, so I consider it finished. Space Opera September is a readathon, a month long readathon that is hosted by Thomas from SFF 180. I will leave all the links down below. Maya also has her own Space Opera TBR and wrap up that she did like in the middle of September because she is crazy fast this year with just going through books. So I'll leave all the links down below. I chose to go to on through the path of kind of choosing some smaller works so I could actually do it because I was really interested in kind of participating because there's like this whole world and this readathon where you have to like kind of get like a type of like spacecraft and then you can like have a career and you can be a rebel or like on the fleet side and like it's really interesting. I always wanted to join. I just don't really read space operas and it was actually a problem even getting a TBR for this because I looked everywhere and I basically found four books, one of which ended up not being a space opera, but luckily I remembered I quite like one author and I chose her novella as a replacement and it was a big win. So let's just get started and see what I actually read. So, before I could go on to the actual challenges of the readathon, I had to read a space opera novella because I had to get some kind of, spacecraft. And I chose a shuttlecraft because you needed to read just a novella. So, I read The Scourge Between Stars by Inez Brown. This was a recommendation by Maya, and I absolutely adored it. It was like such a great start to the entire readathon. This is the story of Jack. She is the daughter of a captain on a ship that has like a group of people that failed to kind of inhabit a planet called Proxima B, so they're returning back home to Earth, and the the ship is kind of just falling apart, the supplies are dwindling, like nothing's going right basically. And amidst all of that, something strange can be heard in the walls of the ship, and people are getting murdered, and just she needs to deal with all of that. Uh, and I absolutely adored it. It is very television worthy. I think it would like make for a great movie, and it goes in all the vein of like Alien and stuff like that, but there's like just here there's like just this great relationship between our main character Jack and an android called Watson, who actually has the appearance of her dead sister, which is kind of it's a bit of a mindfuck for her, and she's just kind of dealing with this complicated family relationships, trying to kind of hold onto the ship because her father isn't actually there as the captain, so she has to assume his role, and just everything is basically falling apart. It is fast paced, it is very interesting, and I would just really recommend it to everyone if they like something like that. It was just really very fun and read for me, and I don't really read sci-fi, so I was pleasantly surprised with this. My next challenge was to read a book published after 2010, and for that I read Light Chaser by Peter F. Hamilton and Garrett L. Powell. That is from 2021. This was a recommendation from oh my god, Rachel from the Shades of Orange. I mean, I saw it on her channel and the story seemed interesting. This is a story of Amale, who lives for millions of years, and she resides on this ship that goes around the universe and kind of visits every 1,000 years different planets. However, the planets are kind of stuck in a cultural stasis. So like you have a medieval planet, you have like a, I guess, a Roman planet, you have like a highly technological planet and stuff like that. And during her travel, and everybody on the, not everybody on the planet, but certain people that are chosen on the planet get to wear mem implants. So these are like memory data savers, and she gets to look through them as she travels from one planet to another. And at one point, one of those mem plants does kind of start, the people in the memories start to kind of directly talk to her as if they know her, and that's where actually the whole story develops, and she finds out that there's like this whole gigantic problem that only she can actually deal with and resolve, because she just has to kind of remember. And I found the story to be overall interesting. The world building, the plot, however, it was very slow paced. There was some very technological stuff and world stuff that it didn't sit immediately with me, so I was left a bit confused. So I'm on not, I didn't totally enjoy it, but it was an interesting read. It was a new take on everything, and just, you know, unfortunately I didn't like it as much as I did the first book. The next book I needed to read was a book by a smaller press or author, and I chose Aliette de Bodard, On a Red Station Drifting. This was like a shift from Ed Battle of Readathon. This is a Croatian author, which ended up not being a space opera. So I chose Aliette de Bodard because I don't really hear a lot about her. I don't think she is really that traditionally published. She has a she is published like by a publishing house, but I think it's a small press, so at least I'm hoping. I love this one. I just forget that Aliette Bodard kind of intrigued me since I read Team Master and the Detective or something like that, and then her Dominion of the Fallen, first book in the trilogy, and I just love this. So this is the story of Prosper Station. This is like a space station in the middle of space with humans on there, and this is based on Vietnamese culture. So like the entire station is actually was formed by somebody called the Honored Ancestress, and she still lives in the ship, and this is some kind of big mind that is present all over the ship. I'm not like, it's very explained in much detail in the story, although it's a novella, but it's such like, it's everything is explained to such a detail that it fits the novella perfectly. You are never confused as to what's happening. So on this station we have Mistress Quyen. I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this, but she kind of holds Prosper Station together because her husband left to join the war, because you have like in a marriage you have like the better spouse, the more worthy spouse, and that the worthier spouses went to kind of help with the war efforts because there's a war going on. And in the midst of this, the station welcomes a magistrate called Lynn. She kind of is a refugee from a planet where the war is also raging. However, it turns out to be a bit more complicated than just kind of helping her kind of flee the war. And that's all I'm going to say, because if I say anything else, it's kind of going into what actually happens. The story was very interesting. The world building was really good. The two main characters are completely unlikable, both of them. Although you actually get to understand both of their kind of actions and reactions, because you get both POVs. So I loved that. Like literally, like there was no communication. There was so much miscommunication there, but you could. The author actually managed to explain one or the other was holding back and didn't want to kind of, do certain stuff or talk about some stuff, and that was really, really interesting. I think I missed a lot of the references to the Vietnamese culture, although I think probably there are a lot, but I actually enjoyed just kind of, learning something through it. And the end was quite satisfying, and I definitely want to read more from this like whole universe, because there's like a series of novellas about it. So yeah, I would totally recommend that one too. My next challenge was to read a book based on a popular franchise, and I chose to read Firefly Unification War Volume 1. Actually, I chose to read more volumes, however, I stopped at like volume 2, like halfway. So this is, the continuation of the story of Firefly, the show. I adored the show, but I can't really say anything about this. Like, you just have the same characters, and there's a war going on, and they're kind of pulled into this warring factions and everything. It was just, I don't know why I keep reading, because it's not like I'm totally enamored with it, and I think I'm gonna stop reading them, because there's just no sense. The show is still like here somewhere, although like the whole, like the characterizations are there and everything is good, but I think I'm just too far away, since it's been too far, too many years since I watched the show to actually enjoy it anymore. Maybe if I watch the show again and then kind of, reread them, but I don't know, I don't have the time or actually the will right now. So yeah, not much to say about that one. And finally, I read a standalone book, which is Sentient by Jeff Lemire. So this is a comic which it is very small and it is very interesting. It got me sobbing roughly like 2 pages in. I was sobbing like it was crazy. That was like Jesus Christ. So basically, this is the story of a sentient ship, an AI ship that has an AI who has to take care of the children after like all of the adults on board are killed. And basically we get the story of how the AI deals with the children, deals with the repercussions of the adults being killed, how it gets the children to a safe place. The story was very interesting. However, you have to really not question what's happening, because if you kind of go and analyze some stuff, there's just like some things that like there's plot holes to be had a lot, and then in the end, like the end is so incredibly rushed. When it was the end, I had a feeling of like, did I skip a chapter? Did I skip 10 chapters? What's happening here? Like, how did this end so suddenly? So yeah, I mean, I really liked it. It was interesting. It was fast paced, small. I read it like less than an hour. Like seriously, it was such a quick read, and but it didn't really, like it felt like a trial, like like the author tried something with this, but he didn't fully develop the idea or like the emotions or anything else. So yeah, very emotional, but you don't get very close to the characters. You don't get a lot of plot or explanations as to what the heck is happening. So yeah, that's basically it. And with that, I completed all of my challenges for Space Opera September. I hope I was somewhat helpful, clear. You found something you would like to read. Please check out Maya's videos. She has lots more than I do. Please like, share, subscribe, press the bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in our next video. Bye!